Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so this video is going to be the tag flip tutorial. Um and you guys just bear with me, to be honest, because I don't know, I just came up with this in my head, and so just bear with me, you guys. I will try to explain everything as much as I can, but if you guys have any questions, you can just leave them down below in a comment and I will get back to them as soon as I can. This is going to be covered in fabric. So you can start off with whatever size you would like from with your tags. I just wanted a big tag because last time I made like a 4x6 tag. No, I'm sorry, not a 4x6. I made like a really small tag. So I wanted a big one this time. So this time my tag measures about 5.5 by 7.5. So last time that I did it, I just added the fabric straight to the chipboard, but I think this time I wanna put some batting on it because I wanted to give it like a little puffiness. Guys, this fabric rotary cutter, oh my god, it's so good. So good. Okay, so now that we have that, add that to these here. Okay, so I'm going to put these aside. Now I'm going to go in with my fabric. Make sure you guys are using fabric scissors because it'll just cut your fabric nicely. But since this is a long strip, I'm just going to cut the width of it. And then put that aside. Okay. So now that we have this, so what you want to do is you don't want to cut the shape out of the tag right away. What I'm going to do is just cut a square to give myself the space that I need to sew. Okay, so for my batting, I'm just going to put a tiny bit in the middle of hot glue just so that this stays in place and it doesn't move around. So initially what I was going to do was I was going to wrap my batting over with the fabric, but then I figured the less bulk the better. So what I decided to do was to cut down my batting to the chipboard tag size, and then I was just going to wrap my fabric over it because technically I had already glued it to the middle of the tag. So it wasn't going to be moving around really when I wrap my fabric around. So this is definitely not a necessary step. You can totally just wrap the fabric around the tag on the chipboard, but I wanted to give that thickness look, kind of like a pillow look, to my cover. So that's why I added the batting. So right here, I'm just wrapping around my fabric and I'm trying to crease the edges where it's folding. Make sure I crease it really good. And I'm trying to fold the fabric to the less bulkier side, if that makes any sense. So the whole purpose of this is for you to try to fold it and have it not be so bulky. So fold it nice and neatly so that when you sew over, it's easier for you to do it. I'm just using Dollar Tree double-sided tape just to hold my fabric in place when I'm sewing. Another thing that I wanted to tell you guys is be careful when you're sewing and make sure that your fabric stays to the sides you folded it to. So if you need to just add more tape so that you can make sure that your edges stay folded the right way, then that's totally okay too. Once you are done stitching the tag, then you just cut off all the excess, and it'll definitely be even less bulk. So pretty much like that little flap at the end will be cut off, and a lot of the fabric that I folded inward at the top will be cut off once everything is sewn together. Once you have these, set your front and back cover aside. So you're gonna need a piece of cardstock that's 85 pounds, or not like 110 pound because that is too thick. But you're gonna cut depending on the size, the width of your tag. So mine is 5.5, so I cut 5.5 by 11. You're gonna put it on your scoreboard, and then you are gonna score starting at 1.5 and every ½ inch all the way to 9.5. So you'll be left with 1.5 inches on both sides. So once you have that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold it. So pretty much, let me show you. This is a part that is gonna attach right here. So you're gonna give yourself that spot. So you are going to do kind of like an accordion fold. So you're going to fold on the second line, and then you're going to give it a ½ inch. Then you're going to fold another little accordion here. Make sure when you fold your score lines, you're being precise, because then one will be shorter than the other one. So you're going to skip this one. So you're going to fold this one upward and then down and then up on the next line. So it's going to take 3 score lines to make your little tab pretty much. So skip this one. So here you're going to score up. Go up, then downward, then up again, and that's going to make another accordion. So see how that's going. So you should have 5. So you're going to score up and then down and then up again and then down. So that should give you 5 taps like this. See that? You got 5 taps right there. And then these sides, you're going to score upward, because these are the ones that are going to be attached to your cover, your back and front cover. So that is your binding right there. So now what you can do is take some tape, or take glue and tape, whatever you would like, anything that is gonna secure these, like really secure them, because you don't want them opening up. Then it's gonna look weird on the bottom part of your tags. I'm gonna take my Scotch tape, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one line of that one, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue. I'm going to put it, I'm not going to soak it so much because I want the tape to work. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to stick it together. Okay. Just make sure you don't apply glue to the wrong sides. Because that could happen. It's happened to me before, guys. So now I just really reinforced the score lines, made sure that these pretty much like bend nicely to each side, and then I really press down on the edges of here so that it's as thin as possible. because this is where you're actually gonna stick on your tags. I'm gonna measure though this little square here because, and you don't have to fold it like this. I'm literally just folding it like this because I want to show you guys. Okay, so you're gonna measure this length right here so that, because I want to cover it with printed papers. It's 3 inches by 5.5. Yep, it's 3 inches by 5.5. So you're gonna cut a little piece of whatever cardstock print you want so that you can cover this and it looks nice on the outside. So this is my cardstock. So now you're just gonna stick this on here. That's perfect. So you can either put glue or tape or whatever you'd like. I'm going to put both because I like, you can even put hot glue if you'd like. That would work too. But I'm gonna put tape and glue because I like my stuff to last forever and ever. Okay, so now that I have this part, which is my matting part, so that you can't see all those folds, we are ready to start attaching it. And for this, I'm gonna actually use hot glue, and I'm making sure that my glue is super duper hot so that I have time to really adjust it and flatten it out, because hot glue paper is not fun. I prefer, like, if I'm adding stuff, I prefer wet glue, but since this is just to reinforce it and I don't want it coming out or lifting, I am going to add hot glue, and then the matting paper will go on top. So that's what we're gonna do. Alrighty, at this point, sorry, it looks like a hot mess here. I'm sorry. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you guys was to snip the edges so that the paper doesn't show on the side. So I'm gonna do that to these corners too. So just like a little bit, snip. So now all we have to do is mat the inside, and you can use 110-pound cardstock and then add your print paper if you'd like to just lay it over the top. It's totally up to you, or you can use a regular paper. I'm going to mat it on 110-pound cardstock, then put my print over, then sew it, then glue it on. So I've got my pieces here cut. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 1 inch here, right there, and then from the outside I cut it at 1.5 inches right there. So you're gonna cut it like that on both sides. If you want, just make a line there so you know exactly where you need to cut. So that's just how I cut so that both of my sides are perfect, but you guys can do whatever. I mean, you don't have to be precise. I'm not precise all the time, you know. Okay, so this is 1 inch, and then from here we're gonna go to 1.5 inches down, 1.5 inches, and then cut them. I'm ready to cut them, so I'm going to clip them together, make sure that they don't move when I cut them. And I just cut them on my guillotine, And now we are ready to glue them on. I'm only going to glue down the middle part because I'm going to stitch around it. So let's do that really quick. Okay, and then the next one, and then I'm going to sew them and I will be right back. Okay, so at this point, right before I add my matting on the inside, if you're going to use eyelets, if you're going to use snap closures, whatever it is you want to use, it's a good time to add it so that you can hide it behind your matting on the inside, so you have a nice clean paper. The snap closure is not necessary. You can add eyelets with ribbon. You can add like a little chain over. I just like, I'm going to use a paper strap. So I'm just measuring the middle of my tag there. And I think I went in 1/2 inch and I added my snap closure, but I would have preferred 1 inch. But that's okay. I'll know that for next time. I get so proud of myself, you guys, when I use my snap closure. So I'm just making the little hole. I just used my pencil to make a tiny little marking, and then I went in with my pokey tool and I added the snap closure. I also checked to make sure that the snap closure really sealed, because sometimes, because the paper or whatever it is you're using is too thick, sometimes they don't work. So just make sure that it's really snapped shut together. So at this point, I'm going to make my paper strap. So what I did is I cut out a 2-inch size long paper and I left it at 12 inches just so I had enough slack. And what I did was I just scored it at 1/2 inch on each side so that I can fold it over. And I stitched on the edges. I didn't cut it yet because I wanted to have that extra slack just in case I was going to need more. And so just make sure you varnish your score lines really good. What I'm going to do is add the snap closure right now to my paper. So right here, this is going to be my front part. Okay. So now that you have your closure, you just want to make sure it's going to work good and it's not going to come out. Because sometimes when you put your snaps on something thick, it'll come out. So you just want to make sure that it's going to stay. Yep, perfect. Okay, so now we can add this here. And I don't want it to be open so much. So maybe like right there, that's perfect. Okay. So I'm going to take my glue gun and put some hot glue right here. And then I kind of measured it along with this. So right there. Cut off this excess. There we go. And then I'm going to make sure that it's glued on all the way to the top, because we're not going to sew this on. We're just going to stick it on. And that will be that. You could sew it on if you'd like, but it'll show over here. So it's totally up to you. You could sew it on like before you sew all of this, but to be honest, I just don't want to get confused or anything, so I just do this. So there is that. Okay, so now we're ready to put our matting on. So this is one. Honestly, hot glue is gonna be the best thing to put on this. So I'm going to put it on. So, that is it. So now all that is left to do is I'm going to cut 7.5 by 5.5. But I'm gonna leave a 1/4 inch, like a 1/8 of an inch. I'm gonna cut it a 1/8 of an inch less on both sides so nothing sticks out or on the top. So you're gonna do 2 tags for each slit. So you'll need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 tags in total. And then if you want to sew them together, you can. You definitely can do that. I usually sew each one of them separately because I don't like the back of the stitching to show. So that's what I do. So I'm gonna sew those together. I'm gonna sew them, cut them out, and then I will be back when I'm done with that. Okay guys, so I'm back with my tags all stitched and cut up. So pretty much my method for sticking the tags down is on the tabs of the binding I add hot glue just to make sure that they're secured 100%. So what I do is I try my best to line it up with the score line, and then I lay it flat to one side, and then I adhere my other tag on top. So then to adhere both tags together, I'm going to add wet glue, and I'm just going to make sure that I spread my glue all around, making sure the at the beginning of the tab at the bottom has glue so that everything adheres perfectly. And then I will add hot glue to the tab on the other side. It's easier if you try to stick your tags together with them laying flat. And it's also better because once you lift the tag, it doesn't bend or fold or anything like that where the score line is at. So it's just easier for me. I've done this kind of binding quite a bit already, and I just find it really easy to lay them flat and stick the other side on top. Alrighty guys, and here is the final look on how this looks. I'm going to show you guys from side, and then this is the bottom right here, and the back part, and the front part. You could bring the snap closure a little bit down, but I didn't because I want to embellish this and I don't know how much space I'm gonna need. Last time when I did that, it was too low and I didn't have a lot of space. So this is how I did it. I mean, if you guys, if you guys can think of other ways to make it more simple for you guys, then by all means go for it. This is just how my brain works, and this is how I decided to make mine. But see how you guys have a ton of space between, and yeah. So I decided to make little pockets here. On my last one I didn't, but this time I did because I don't know, I just thought about it and I was like, little pockets would be so adorbs. This is it, you guys. And for the embellishing and the filling up, I'm actually going to do another video. So that will be up next. And again, if you guys have any questions or you need help, go ahead and DM me on Instagram or message me here. I get to messages much faster on Instagram, so if you prefer to message me there, that would be awesome. But I hope you guys can understand the tutorial, and I hope you guys recreate this little Tagflip book embellishment. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. But yeah guys, so thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.